we're going to continue this series here if LeBron James is in the GOAT debate. Through the first video I did post, I did forget to screen record it, but here's not going to be jumping into Rick Booker of how he states LeBron's never been in that conversation.
To win the game. And as we know, we haven't always seen that from LeBron James. Doesn't make him not an all-time great. It just doesn't make him a GOAT. What he can achieve right now, is to prove that he is the mentally toughest player in the league currently. And I'm not even sure people...
No, LeBron is not mentally tough whenever it comes to him. We've seen many times to where he's played the Golden State in the finals, especially in 2017 when they acquired Kevin Durant. They were having an interview. He just won the Eastern Conference championship, whatever they call it, against the, I think it was the Boston Celtics. When a reporter was asking him after the game his thoughts on playing Golden State, and LeBron said he doesn't even want to think about it right now. He's too stressed out, or something along those lines. We can see LeBron James, he quits on his team many times, like in 2018, after he lost the finals. Dude had a scarf on his hand, or a little cast, saying he played with a broken hand pretty much. Giving out excuses. We've seen, let's see what else. There's a couple other times in LeBron's career to where he's quit on his team. Like in 2010, a lot of people said with the Boston Celtics. There was some backstory with Delonte West and his mom. We've seen other times with LeBron James in 2014, giving up against the San Antonio Spurs. A couple times within that series, there was 3 to 4 blowouts that occurred during then. And then as well as kind of the end of 2015 against the Warriors, kind of putting his foot off the gas. Anytime that there's any finals games or playoffs to where he's losing, most likely in the finals, they're down 10 to 15, 20 points, especially against the Warriors. LeBron makes sure he'll play the last couple minutes to stat pad to make his averages look good for the future. But mentally tough, no, LeBron's not there. He's never had been, or he wouldn't be 3 or 6 in the finals. If he still was 3 and 6, he would not get swept as well as losing 5 games. There would probably be another couple games, 6 or 7.
Would necessarily give him that over guys like Kawhi Leonard. But that is something that he can achieve, because ultimately the superstar that gets this done will be the guy who is the mentally toughest. That's going to be the biggest challenge under the current circumstances.
Boy, talking about living up to your name, Slick Rick. Boy, that was slick, how you try to just take us to a different place, Mr. Bucher. In reality, this is an ongoing conversation because of merit, because LeBron has played himself into that same conversation. This is just more ammunition to stoke that fire, which is the GOAT debate.
Well, I'll agree that he has more ammunition if he wins a championship with the Lakers. That is very impressive, to where if he would have 4 championships on 3 different franchises, pretty much one for East, one championship East for each of the franchises, going on with the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Heat, and the Lakers. So I'll give LeBron credit on that. That does show and value his impact, being valuable for a franchise, not really for your teammates and everything. But, with LeBron, that's very impressive. That's not something to where he'll still pass Michael Jordan. You still got to remember, even though people don't like this argument, Michael Jordan's 6-0 in the finals. He never lost. He won 2 3-peats. LeBron hasn't even won 1 3-peat. There's nothing to justify to where LeBron is better. As well as Michael Jordan has more MVPs, finals MVPs, career-wise, how many his stats, as well as points per game, scoring leader, seasons. I mean, there's a lot you can pull with Michael Jordan. And he did it in under around 11 seasons to win 6 championships. That's over 50% in his career. LeBron, he won 3 championships in his 13th season, and now he's on season number 17. So if LeBron wins his 4th championship in the 17th season, that's, yeah, I mean, I don't want to say much about that.
LeBron James will retire with more points than Michael Jordan, more rebounds than like a Ben Wallace, and more assists than Magic Johnson. And you trying to say, forget the statistics, forget the numbers. I gave you some names as well. This guy is going to be a facilitator first and have more points than the guy who selfishly went out there and just wanted to score the basketball until he got a crew around him, a system to support him, and then figured it out. Oh, I do need my teammates. And let's talk about LeBron and the
Okay, listen, I like LeBron James. I've been following him. I want him to succeed, but I've already seen a couple of years, and based on him, that's not the way we can expect it. You can expect a LeBron James championship pretty much one out of every 3 to 4 seasons, and there's going to be a bunch of chaos, drama. LeBron does have a feminine trait to where he brings chaos to a team. He's like a black hole. He'll come into your team, take all your resources, use it to its not proper role, but to everything focused on LeBron, which that's why he doesn't always prove success. But after 3 to 4 seasons, you'll probably can squeak out a championship based on everything together, more on an emotional side. And that's what happens with LeBron. We saw that with not as much whenever he was on the Heat. He was checked by Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley, but they only did win 2 championships out of 4. Whenever he went to Cleveland, that was his narcissist style of way with the general manager. With David Griffin did kind of put him on check a little bit, but he was still stressed enough to where he had to kind of fall to LeBron. Kyrie Irving had to endure on that, and the other players. And LeBron only won 1 championship in 4 seasons. 2016 is controversial, but then KD did join 2017 and 18, so that's a different story kind of on that. But no, whenever Mars Wise talking about LeBron is going to have the most points of all time, yeah, LeBron's probably going to play 20 seasons in the league. MJ only played 11 seasons. I mean, 13, of course, but those were kind of just mess around years with the Wizards. But we're talking about, a ratio of how much accomplishments and you succeeded in the short amount of time. MJ was fluent, efficient with that. LeBron's not efficient when it comes to his accolades.
Teammates that he had early in his career, but still went to the finals with Captain Crunch and Count Chocula. He went out there and went to the finals with nothing else around him, brother. Wow. Michael Jordan in his first few years, when he didn't have anything around him, swept out the first round, losing in the first round.
Listen, LeBron fans and Michael Jordan haters, they love using this excuse. They're talking about Michael Jordan's first 3 seasons. Listen, yeah, you're talking about his first 3 seasons whenever he was young. Look what happened after those 3 seasons. He started to progress every year, got to the second round, got to the conference finals, and then years after that, he made the finals, and he won 6 championships in 7 years, one of them being to where he retired. I mean, if that says something, Michael Jordan was very efficient in his career whenever he was in his peak. No one could stop him. Whenever he came back against the Orlando Magic, I mean, he only had around 20, 30 games under his belt, but that's another subject for another day. With LeBron James, he had the same thing. He didn't make the playoffs his first 2 seasons. He made the second round. Then he made the finals, which is very impressive. Then after that, he kind of digressed to where he would lose in the conference finals, the second round. He would always get to the finals then, but he would win a couple finals, lose a couple finals, win a final, lose finals. It's up and down trajectory-wise, as well as he changed different teams. Whenever it comes to Michael Jordan, he lost to the Bucks. He won 1 game his first playoff go-round, then lost to the Boston Celtics, a top 3, top 5 greatest team of all time. So, I mean, I don't know how you can knock on Michael Jordan when he did average around over 30 points per game during that series. And everyone had their eye on MJ. This is something to where MJ had to have more playoff experience coming across, and he played against one of the greatest teams of all time. I don't know why everyone goes hard on him his first 3 seasons. Then if you're going to use that excuse, we can use the excuse on LeBron James' first 3 seasons as well.
If you really want to do this comparison, they're both amazing. They're both in the conversation. But to dismiss LeBron because, boy, he has the numbers, but what about the accolades? I think we're doing ourselves a disservice if we're going to approach it that way.
You know what, Marcellus, you make a good point in this, in regards to you have to include LeBron in the conversation because of his body of work. I mean, whether you like LeBron or not, yes, he's proven over his 17-year period, we haven't seen an athlete play the game the way he's played it. Again, a natural facilitator is probably going to end up, if he stays healthy, will pass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the all-time leading scorer in the league. Again, number of years, of course, but his ability.
No, that will be impressive at LeBron's end of his career. Let's just say he stays with the Lakers for a total of 4 seasons. He wins, let's just say, just 1 championship. So he retires 20 seasons, 4 championships, all-time leading scorer against Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Going to be top 5 in assists during that time period. And then his longevity to where, let's see, he wins 1 more regular season MVP. He has 4 finals MVPs. That's very impressive, to put him as the Mount Rushmore of the NBA. People can have debates of him being the second greatest player of all time. I won't really bat an eye that much when it comes to it, but to justify him as the greatest player of all time against Michael Jordan, there's no way when it comes to that. But we don't even know if LeBron's going to win another championship. We don't know if to where he'll play, those 3 to 4 seasons to catch Kareem. I believe with LeBron, he's aware that he can't catch MJ in championships. He understands that, so he'll shoot for 1 more championship. I think 2020 is the writing on the wall, so he'll get it. But he's going to look more into, after this season of winning the championship, he's going to look more into chasing Kareem on that scoring list. Plus, we don't even know if Anthony Davis is going to resign.
And to Rick, you made my point. When you talked about what you saw on the court with Michael Jordan versus what you saw versus LeBron, you were able to witness that ferocity of Michael Jordan. 15 years from now, people writing that story who never saw Michael Jordan play, all they're going to see is clip. They're going to remember what they saw from LeBron. So the way that you're a journalist and writing stories are the same way the people 15 years from now, when this conversation comes up, is going to lean towards LeBron James because that's who they were able to.
No, those are only 2-dimensional thinkers when it comes to it. As a 3-dimensional thinker, even though if you haven't seen the full visual and all the clips and being in that time period of like a Bill Russell, some people with Magic Johnson, as well as Michael Jordan, then later down the road with LeBron James. Listen, I still have Michael Jordan as the GOAT when it comes to all of this. And same thing with Bill Russell being over LeBron James. That's not an issue. Listen, who cares what people on Twitter, social media have to say? Listen, they're a bunch of 2-dimensional thinkers. They don't know what they're talking about. If you actually have a criteria and you're breaking things down, LeBron James is not the greatest player of all time as well as the second greatest. If you actually have a criteria in place, and which I'm going to make another video for another day, LeBron James actually ranges around number 5 or 6. Same thing with Kobe. His fans are going to get mad. Same thing with Kobe. Kobe's not top 3, top 5, or even the GOATs. Kobe Bryant's actually around top 9 to top 11, hanging around in that range. A lot of cats don't want to hear that because they hear the popular name of MJ, LeBron, and Kobe. Those are the 3 players of all time that come to mind popular-wise. But no, guys, we got to be objective here, not subjective.
That's the difference. We know it. We saw it. But those young people get a chance to experience like us, Rick.
Jim, I can't be responsible for the knuckleheads that are going to follow me 15 years from now. I'll tell you
got to be. You got to carry the torch, bro.
Listen, they've even done polls through this generation. They still have Michael Jordan being picked as the greatest player of all time. So what these cats are saying about, in 20, 30 years from now, they're going to pick LeBron as the GOAT, KD's rings were justified. No. Listen, people can look in the history books. We have gameplay. They can look on YouTube. People are usually on their grind when it comes to this. That's why media pundits, they're not exactly correct on things, but they're pretty close when it comes to these debate shows. Listen, we're all going to know about Kevin Durant's rings. It's not 2 rings that are justified the same thing as 2 rings from like a Ray Allen, or I can't think of maybe like a Akeem. If you see Akeem had 2 rings and KD, I'm going to value more of Akeem's that are more legitimate. People aren't going to just look at numbers in the number book. We're in the day of technology, and as well as we can look up all the facts. We've had these people to where they're talking about this daily within that. But I'm going to stop the conversation and the debate right here. We know the stances on these guys. I agree more with Rick Bucher. This is not a GOAT conversation LeBron is in. If he does win a 4th championship ring, I'm fine with people entertaining that debate on sports debate topic shows. I still have Michael Jordan, of course, but in all honesty, this is huge if LeBron wins a championship with the Lakers, based on people not even having them finals favorites beginning of the season, as well as how this can increase LeBron winning 3 chips on 3 championships on 3 different franchises.